ambient surroundings around you dissipate you into a point where you can't be regenerated, which you can't be regenerated because you'll go back to a lower dimension where you will return to gross coagulation, and that's not what you want when you done already achieved your lightness. Your lightness is a representation of having little manifestation or grossness, but same spiritual energy that animates any grossness that you can encounter. That's what being the light is. That means you have a lot of energy that you can really move fast with, but once you get to where you're going, you more than likely it's going back to the higher source of energy, or you would take on another manifestation somewhere. So this is how this works. And you can return to past manifestations. And you go to future manifestation, which if you understand always end up being the now. So back to dealing with now. We want to talk about the circumstances here on earth. With the religion centers, especially Catholicism, especially the ones around the worship of white man Jesus Christ. Okay? Biggest scam ever been on the earth. Bigger than any scam, more money than you could ever imagine. And that's the reason why there's so much poverty. The same way that the drugs and the alcohol and the tobacco and everything that's a part of the decadence of our society becomes a part of the decadence starts way back in Europe at the introduction of orphanages, where the church took over the minds of everyone and started brainwashing full scale all the little children into the philosophies and the propagandas of some guy, Jesus Christ, dying for someone else's sins. All this come about after years and years and years of propaganda of pushing everyone around Europe, forcing them, the Romans and the Spaniards in London, you name it, London Tower brutality, Christian crusade, Spanish conquistador crusade, all of this stuff all pushed to one thing. It pushed to albinism, it pushed to whiteness, it pushed to the sun being moved out of the picture as God, the S-U-N sun being eradicated as God and replaced by the image of a white man, Jesus Christ. When we know for a fact there was so many Christed people, it's pathetic. So nowadays, every Christ person that come along, every melanated person that comes on the earth, really anointed by the sun, have UFOs with them and everything, got to get sent through a bunch of unnecessary bullshit by everyone on the world because you all want to be stuck down believing in some dumbass dead man. When you can see a man alive walking, talking to you, with blood pumping through him, with energy, with intelligence, and with light shifts. I mean, this is the part that gets me the most. And he says that he is connected with the sun, and the sun is showing signs of, if you understand, I agree. This is my representative. If you can see, I'm doing all this crazy stuff to show you that what he says is true. He done made all the lights turn green on it. What more do you guys need? And okay, to get to the point, the problem with this earth more than anything is that everybody is trusting in religion. And religion is what's ripping you off and keeping the corporations rich. You know, you get mad at me because you think I'm attacking you, but I'm showing you states of foolishness that you have allowed people to take from you. Your own selection of how you eat and what you eat has been eradicated from you. And they've given you all these fast food restaurants that it's giving you junk. Now, you're eating junk, so you're not going to have a functioning properly body. And that's the reason why you can be so dull-witted as to where you don't see a problem with locking up a whole nationalism of people. That's what you've done to us melanated people. You constantly put us in your prisons, and you even lie and create circumstances where we don't do well. And have the nerves to get mad at me when I document it and show it to you that that's what you've done. And then here you got a whole city that has done everything that you can to impede my success. And you have the audacity to get upset and get mad when I can show it to you that that's what you've done. And not only show you that's what you've done, I show you 500 years of your history of being nothing but warmongers and enslavers of other people. And then all this you do while you claim to be the children of God and perpetuate your image of your white Jesus around the world and push it on everybody after you come and robbed them and stolen and destroyed their way of life from them. You had the nerves to put your Jesus cross on them and make them worship it. And then if they don't worship it and have the nerves to tell you how phony you are, oh, they got to be bad persons now. So you want to get mad because I showed you the people living in the shelter down in New York, and I've showed you how the reason we always end up in shelters is because of what you all did to me here in this city. You harassed me with every method that I could come up with to try to make a living for myself. So me being a person anointed by the Son, I go and I talk to your mayor office, which I just, you know what I'm saying, knew that was a waste of time. Already knew it. I could already see what type of religious affiliation, which religion shouldn't be connected with political offices. I already know that. But I ain't going to say nothing too much on that because the thing is, you guys got things set up the way you want it, and you know how they is before I have to tell you. So I don't have to waste time on explaining to you what your method of attack is because you the one who described it, and you are the one who wrote it as a scrimmage, and you are the one who actually implemented it. So I'm sure you all know exactly what you're doing. All right? So now when I come here and I tell you, well, you know, my name is Asar, and I am the God of the universe, and I am actually here to pass judgment on you guys, and I brought these elements with me, and, you know, the Son is talking to me, and it's saying that I need to do things to get your attention, because, believe it or not, everybody else in the heavens want you guys all dead. And that's the reason why I always keep saying to you, the Son is going to burn your ass up, because I don't want to be sitting around here without letting you all understand the true dynamics of what's going down. So I'm saying, okay, maybe if a school bus get flipped over, they'll pay attention. No, you get angry. I say, okay, well, the animals get their attention. No, you can listen to the newsman who say, there's nothing uncommon about these animal attacks, you know. And then the shit just started just getting to the point where I'm saying, can they be that stupid? And everybody else is zipping around saying, yes, they are. And so now you get mad because I say to you, listen, the Son is not playing. The Son has observed everything that's gone on. And they're really upset because when I came here, we all front row seat to how you guys get down with your lion and everything. So I saw the police car ride up behind me today. I don't know why they was riding behind me. You know, I just figured that they got a right to be riding anywhere they want, I guess, you know. But the thing is, it was two of them in the car, and I was just looking at them. When they rolled past, my little spirit jumped a little bit and said, yeah, well, maybe it wasn't just random or them random. But then maybe it was, and maybe no one was trying to set me up with that person. All this maybe. But one thing I do know is that they don't like you to start talking about you being inside of the earth, and that there is an inner earth that exists, and there is those little great shapeshifters. I've seen them, you know, and I'm not saying this to try to win any popularity or anything, because you know I'm not a person that really want to do other than get the message out that you are your own God, and that you need to activate your own God energy and fix your earth by having more reliance on self and recognize self as being you and everyone else together as being one, and then you all return to having community gardens with each other and having your food prepared more decently and more about qualified love concern involved with it, other than some people you don't even know that just made you the food you eating. You don't know what the hell done happened with that before you got it. This is just what I'm trying to say, how you've all been corporationed and become consumers. That's what I'm trying to point out to you. And the people that knows about what's going on, they get really angry when I start talking about other aliens from other planets and then showing you proof that I've seen them. I can tell you how this works. Okay, listen. In space, when you be traveling, you can be those lights You can have method of travel with light ships if you are advanced enough. All those ships are not light ships. Some of those things have the same communication devices, meaning that you can communicate with your machine, and that's how you fly it. That's how you fly it. You use telepathy to fly those things. You know, it ain't like we do here on Earth where everything is so physical. There's realms of consciousness where we've tapped into the ability to use spiritual energy more than here on Earth. And the reason why is because spiritual energy here on Earth has been eradicated, because it's the spiritual energy that make you be the gods and goddesses that you guys have turned off. And it was deliberately turned off. They turned your spirituality off by giving you materialism. And the coagulation of materialism makes you have a coagulated brain. And a coagulated brain is not a spiritual brain. That's why the most spiritual people you see will always be like skinny people, because they don't want to be responsible for carrying extra weight around. I'm not saying that heavy set people can't be spiritual. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is that a real person that's serious about using as much spiritual energy for spiritual encounters would know the importance of not having too much excessive demand on a spiritual energy as far as what type of sarcophagus they're going to carry around. They consider that, and they know the importance of having a light sarcophagus, so when you're going down the highway, you're not burning that much fuel. A lighter truck going down the highway is going to save a lot more fuel than a truck that's super heavy loaded. So that's one of the reasons that most people like me do not eat meat, do not drink milk, do not eat cheese. Okay, so now that's where we at with that. So we get back to the point is that when you have that type of religion around you, where everything is taken from you by the people who give you the replacement of everything they've taken. Your land, your house, your government, your nationalism, even your woman. Okay, even your woman. They take, so it's a game now where when you have to work and everything, everywhere you go, the door gets slammed in your face. And so you be honest with people and you show to them, you say, no, I done came here with the UFOs and we travel through space. And some of the stuff that we do, we have these certain ships. Some of them be super big, some of them be not that big, you know. And the majority of them are light ships, but you do have the ones that are not light ships. That means that they can't warp, all right, and they can't morph either. And it's just a whole lot of things that some of our ships can do that other ships can't do. But we always find ourselves near sunlight. Wherever we go near the sun. We're like insects attracted to the sun. The suns all recognize each other as being one. The suns work like a bloodstream. They are in constant communication with each other because their light spectrums and the range of their lights, since they all coagulate and work with each other. Once you all into travel, you can never see yourself without being in the light. You're always in the light all the time. There's no, believe me, this is what I'm saying to you. When you go out there, you're always in light. There's no such thing as darkness. Even though our perception from the earth, looking into space, we see darkness. But once you go out there, you're always in light all the time. Even at battle, well, sometimes it get dark. But for the most part, when you're driving and flying those ships, it's all light. But I can remember going places where it be dark and you turn everything off because it's just dark sectors. And that's where these ships, they don't stay horizontal here. They for some